Welcome, everyone. In this second video of our tutorial series on interactive and multisensory installations, I'll introduce a free custom component I developed that brings the same button logic from TouchDesigner to the Playtron MIDI controller. I know that button logic can be a challenging concept for many, so I'll go over practical examples for each button state, covering the fundamentals to create interactive responses with ease. We'll explore how each state, whether it's momentary, toggle, or radio, can amplify interactivity and control in your projects. By the end, you'll have a clear understanding of how each button state functions and when to use it for the best results. Chapter 1. Why is important now? How to apply logic with button. Understanding button states in TouchDesigner is essential for defining how and when responses are triggered, which is crucial for managing sequences and complex tasks efficiently. For instance, choosing radio up over toggle down can seamlessly manage a video sequence without unintended interruptions. Many users face challenges with basic tasks simply due to a lack of knowledge on which button states best suit their needs. Mastering these states allows for precise and effective control in interactive setups. Perfect. To get started, we will need a structure, a network that is extremely simple yet effective. As we build this network, I will explain a couple of essential concepts. First, we begin by creating a button. Afterwards, we will replace it with Playtron. But right now, it's more important to understand this fundamental logic. I will create 4 buttons, and I will also create a merge operator, because I want to keep everything organized in one single place. Following this, for each button, I am going to utilize a video input. So, I have a video here. I will call a movie file in operator to place a video. Perfect. Now, what is the simplest approach? The simplest logic we could implement is, well, I want to use one button to trigger this video only. So, if I wanted to do that, I would simply need to reference the first button to the reset and also to play parameter. If we want the video to restart, so when I click play on the button, it performs a reload, but when I click stop, nothing happens. This indicates that if I want, for example, the video to turn off when I press or release the button, I need to create another logic. If I wish to control this video using this button, for instance, if it's a momentary action, I want the video to only play while I am pressing the button and go to black when I stop pressing. Therefore, I also need to create some additional logic here. The first thing that intuitively one might do is think, well, what if we always keep it in stop mode and reference the play function? With that, I should ensure that when I release the button, it turns black. But in reality, it will freeze to any frame of the video. When I press the button again, it starts over. What interests me, however, is that when the video ends, it can stay at any point, which means this setup does not give us enough control. So I say, okay, what if I set the opacity to 0 using a level top operator and reference, for example, the button to the opacity? So I come over here, reference, and say, okay, now every time I press, the video disappears. If you want, we can put this behind to make it visible. Every time I press the button, the video fulfills what I want. The video appears and disappears when I stop pressing. However, there is a glitch because the action is so rapid that it first shows what is visible here, and the opacity changes at the same time. So, for this, there's a trick, and it's super simple. What we are going to do is create a constant top. We will set it to black color. Then we will connect a switch. And what I must do is pass the index of the switch when I want this to go to blackout mode. So again, I can reference this to the index and say, okay, I have that resolved. However, if we observe it in practice, if I go to blackout, I like that. If I start from the beginning of the video, that's really good. But again, I have this glitch where it causes the visuals to appear jumbled. To remedy this, the trick would be to eliminate this reference. I will create a lag operator. The lag operator will help smooth out the values that have a delay or numerical interpolation, and I will place this in the switch. I will reference this here, and the lag will be very short. I will set it to 0.01. Now, it looks perfect. The video starts when I want it to, and it stops when I release the button. Now I have a logical setup that gives me all that control. Later, we will see what each of the states means and the applications that I can derive from this. Perfect. Now what I want is, I have 4 buttons, and I want 4 videos to demonstrate different logical setups. What one would typically do is copy and paste this multiple times, and then I would have to reference all of this, right? Again, I would need to reference each button, but there is a trick to avoid some of that work. First, remember that we referenced the play function here. This was referenced, but actually it's unnecessary. So I deleted the reference because it still works as I want it to. Thus, having fewer things is better. The cleaner the network is, the better it is for me. So the trick is, we go to the reference. Since this is Python, I want you to call this name here and choose this number to replace the number 1 with the number 1 from here. Basically, when I copy and paste this, it will easily become number 2, which we'll then call channel number 2. To achieve this, we use this code. First, we remove the 1 and add this expression, which is the operator's name, and the -1 mies to get only the last letter of the operator's name. With that, now if I duplicate this, this will now be referenced to number 2. It can be the button here. If you see that it reacted with that button, then I will delete this. I will do the same with the switch. In fact, I can paste this here. I go to the switch, copy this. Perfect. And now I can easily duplicate it 4 times and everything will be referenced to each of the buttons. I can check, and if you see, every time I hit play here, it is functioning correctly with each of these. So, well, up to this point, everything is perfect. For the next part, just before we jump to the next section, let's connect a layout operator here. I want all the buttons to be visible in a single line. I select the last switch operators. And now I have all the buttons aligned. Now I will change all of these to toggle down settings. And now, yes, let's check. Everything is working as intended. Is everything all right with this? And if you notice, when I stop pressing the first button, everything drops in resolution because the switch is grabbing the first input. However, what I can do here is set the resolution to 4 by 4. And with that, it fixes the issue. Regardless of whether the button is pressed, everything is in the resolution that I need. Now I will utilize a transform operator. This is not that relevant to the tutorial, but I want to tidy things up in the transform. I would like this to be higher up. I will put RGB key here, and that's it. Chapter 2. Understanding each button state with practical examples. Now let's go over what each button state means. You might already have an idea, but it's worth understanding this thoroughly for what we'll be working on later. Momentary, up or down. Momentary buttons are held active only while pressed. In momentary down mode, the button action is triggered immediately when you press it down. As soon as you touch the button, it sends the trigger, and the action will continue only as long as the button is held down. Once you release it, the trigger stops. In momentary up mode, the button action is triggered not when you press it down, but when you release it. This is useful in cases where you want to prepare something or wait until the button is fully disengaged before triggering an action. Toggle up or down toggle buttons. Switch between 2 states 0 and 1 with each press. In toggle down mode, pressing the button turns the action on, keeping it active until you press it again to turn it off. This works well for effects that are normally off and need to be activated selectively. In toggle up mode, pressing the button turns the action off, and it remains off until you press it again to turn it on. This is useful for creating effects that default to an active state, but can be temporarily disabled with a button press. Radio up or radio down logic. Now it gets even more interesting. The concept of a radio button originated from old car radios in the 1930s. These radios typically had a set of mechanical buttons, each preset to a specific station. Pressing one button would pop out any other button that was pressed in, ensuring that only one station could be selected at a time. If you already have 4 buttons set up and add a 5th, it will automatically join the existing group if set to radio, impacting the behavior of the other buttons. To create separate radio button groups, select your buttons, then assign a unique name in the group parameter. This ensures the radio logic only affects the buttons within that specified group. As you can see, I've created 2 more buttons and assigned them the radio option. However, since they are not part of the group we created earlier, they don't affect the logic of the other 4 buttons. Chapter 3, using Playtron with custom button states. Now let's see an example applied to an orchid landscape, where I've separated 3 orchids that will react to water. I've assigned a specific button to each orchid, ordered so that the glass of water on the left will control the first orchid on the left, and so on. I'll show you 2 simple dynamics. First, we'll use momentary down, meaning the effect on the orchid will last only as long as my finger stays in the water. Let's see how it works. In the second example, we'll use toggle down. As you may know, this activates the action when I touch the water with my finger. And to deactivate it, I'll need to touch it again. Remember, we're using Playtron for this, so if you're unfamiliar with it, I suggest checking out part 1 of this video series. The rest is self-explanatory. We have already seen how the other states of the buttons function, and what I want to teach you now. This practical custom component I have created for Playtron is extremely simple to use and essentially offers the same options that a MIDI operator provides. Because inside this component, we have a MIDI and chop. We also have some Python scripting that controls the programming logic. And what I am particularly interested in is the ability to set up the component. For instance, I can define that all the buttons within Playtron function as momentary down operators throughout the entire application. A momentary down or momentary up action. Therefore, if I select this option in macro mode, all the channels of Playtron will automatically be assigned a macro. Now, if I want each individual just as channel to perform a distinct action, I can also choose to have each channel behave differently. This flexibility is super important. If we want to observe that behavior, you will see it here when you activate or deactivate any button in the interface. And finally, if you connect a null operator here, you will have the output of all the channels consolidated together. I connected a select top here and only selected the first 4 channels, which is what I used to work with throughout this entire sequence. This is the program we saw earlier on the screen with the Orchids. It's really nothing out of this world. Essentially, it's a compositing technique where I have a background and several Orchid videos with alpha transparency layered on top, creating a visually appealing match. This component is completely free, so you can find it on my Patreon page in the free section. That would conclude this tutorial. It's very practical and straightforward, but you need to keep in mind that these fundamental concepts will serve as the foundation for what we will use later. As the 3rd video in this series, we'll introduce something much more complex, more interesting, and for that, it's important that we are well prepared with these basic skills and knowledge.